brings us together with our customers and other associate companies that work in the same industry to network, and it's helped us tremendously over the years.
We have been a strong partner and a believer in the Snack Food Association going back as long as I can remember.
But as you go into Central and South America, many of those companies have learned a great deal from being a member of the Snack Food Association.
The Snack Food Association, they do a great job.
While not the biggest snack food category, pork rinds got a real boost during the term of President George H.W. Bush from 1989 to 1993, who proclaimed pork rinds his favorite snack. That, of course, delighted the folks at Rudolph Foods and Evans Food Products, the industry's two major pork rind producers, who got a lot of mileage out of the nation's first snacker's choice. Pork rinds also enjoyed a boost from the low-carbohydrate Atkins diet, which promoted pork rinds as a perfect snack for people on the diet. It was the same President Bush who, in November 1990, signed into law the new Nutritional Labeling Act. This gave the FDA the authority to require nutritional labeling on most foods regulated by the agency. SFA was well ahead of the curve in helping to educate its members about the ins and outs of the new regulations, having for years worked on voluntary labeling initiatives. Thus, the industry had no trouble meeting the May 1993 deadline. The Act also set a January 1, 2006 deadline for trans fatty acid labeling. Since the advent of tortilla chips in the 1960s, there really had been no new widely marketed snack product introduced to spur consumer appetites. Frito-Lay changed that with Sun Chips, made with 18 grams of whole grain and 2 grams of fiber per 1 ounce serving. In snack industry tradition, it wasn't long before grain-based snacks started showing up in other company snack portfolios. Pretzels, one of the original snack products, had a spectacular growth spurt in the 1990s, driven by the perception that they were a healthy snack. Manufacturers introduced numerous new pretzel varieties, pushing sales to over $1 billion and prompting the Wall Street Journal to call pretzels the snack of the 90s. In 1994, in a move to honor legends in the evolution of the snack industry, SFA established the annual Circle of Honor Awards. The first two recipients were the late Herman Lay and J. Erskine Love, founder of PrintPack, a major packaging firm. 3 years later, SFA welcomed its first female chairman, Robbie Dietrich, a longtime industry veteran who was Frito-Lay's top government relations expert. In the meantime, the entrance into the mainstream food business by mass-market retailers, broadening food categories in the fast-growing warehouse clubs and specialty food stores, as well as consolidation of several major supermarket chains, had a major impact on snack food companies.
A lot of the consolidation has given the retailers a lot more tools and information as to what their consumers are wanting, and they're helping to really drive product offerings, packaging, nutritional content, and the latest thing too now is sustainability. How are you going to, preserve, reduce, recycle throughout the whole supply chain?
It used to be that the marketing people worked with the consumer to find out what they wanted, designed the products, advertised them, and the people bought the product. Today, the power resides with the retailer, and the retail buyer is the one who's calling the shots on what product they want in their store. And it's a completely different dynamic.
Barry Levin, chairman and CEO of Snack King in Los Angeles, says there's a great upside to the changing face of retailing in which distribution channels have expanded.
It's more opportunities to sell products. These are more customers to call on and show our products to.
One company that has taken advantage of the changing retail dynamics and a growth in private label is Shearer's Foods, one of the country's largest private label snack producers. While its Shearer's brand products are regional, its private label and contract packaging business has become national.
I think the biggest thing that we've done, is to develop that footprint of having plants strategically located throughout the United States.
The dramatic changes in food retailing have provided great opportunities for strong snack food companies like Frito-Lay, Utz, Hers, Mike Sells, Old Dutch, C.J. Vintners, Troyer Farms, Snack King, Snyder's of Hanover, Kettle Foods, Wise, and others. In terms of numbers of manufacturers, the national footprint of manufacturers was smaller, but the volume of snacks produced and consumed continued to set records. The Snack Food Association began refocusing its efforts to reflect the needs of the industry, especially its need for aggressive government regulations at both the national and state levels. Its president and chief executive officer, Jim McCarthy, is a government relations expert who joined the association as vice president of government relations in 1991. Among his first tasks was to guide the industry through mandatory nutritional labeling on the back of packages.
And now there is a proposal for voluntary front of package labeling, which some of our members endorse and others are a little concerned about.
McCarthy explains SFA's government relations strategy.
We are trying to enhance the member value through being very active, proactive in government affairs, not waiting for something to come down the pike that would hurt the association, hurt the industry. We're trying to do things ahead of the game.
As an example, McCarthy cited trans fatty acid labeling. Members were apprised of the pending regulation and were able to ultimately make the change very quickly.
It was not as much of a burden because they had plenty of warning that this was coming.
SFA Chairman Matt Colford of Old Dutch had this to say about the association's role in the trans fatty acid transformation and other issues.
The role of SFA isn't necessarily to solve those issues because we don't manufacture as an association, we don't sell products as an association, but the role is to bring good thinkers and quality members together to solve those problems. And I think as a facilitator, SFA has done a terrific job of solving any problems that have come our way.
McCarthy says the association's legislative day in Washington, D.C., held each May, is a centerpiece of the government relations program because it brings members to the nation's capital to talk face-to-face with congressmen, senators, and top aides. Education is another important facet of SFA's portfolio of services. It offers numerous seminars during the year and other educational programs at its annual Snackspo, an international event which annually brings attendees from dozens of companies around the world.
International members do look to the United States, I believe, for new technology and machinery and packaging and spices, and so we have quite an active participation at our annual convention.
SFA's printed and electronic educational materials have been a staple for existing and startup snack food companies around the world, where the SFA logo is proudly displayed on packaging in places like India, China, and Latin America. Even the entrepreneurial Harvey Noss wouldn't believe what his creation has become in a relatively short 75 years.